Alright everybody, so welcome to assignment 1.3.D. This is all about the text-based commands that we can do. So let's just kind of jump in and see what we're working with, and we'll kind of play around from there. So let's see what we have here. We have the first name, last name, an employee ID number, okay, social security number. So it looks like we're holding a lot of important information about these employees. And we got a bunch of blanks here that we're going to be filling out. So let's read this kind of situation or scenario, and then we'll see how we can tackle this. There is a new application this office is using, and they want to generate temporary usernames and passwords for each employee. In columns E, F, and G, generate the requested information. So the first letter of the first name, the first letter of the last name, and the last four of their social security number. Okay? Then, using that information, generate usernames and passwords for each employee using the following rules. For the usernames, it's their initials, so the first letter of their first name, first letter of their last name, followed by their employee number, okay? And then we also have the passwords, which is the last name followed by the last four digits of their social security number. As a security enthusiast, I think that's a very reckless decision to do when you're generating usernames and passwords, but it was said that this is a temporary username and password. So the idea is they'd probably just use it to log in for the first time, and then afterwards they would be able to change it. So let's see and kind of strategize how we would do that. The first letter of the first name. All right, well, we should be able to do that quite easily. Let's dive in and just crank that one out really quick. So let's see if I can zoom in a little better. There we go, that's fine. So the first letter of the first name. So how are we going to extract the first letter on here? Well, we do have a function that takes care of that. It's going to be equals left parentheses. I'm going to click on the cell that we want to grab it from, and then we put in a comma, and then we put in the number of characters that we want to extract. I'll close my parentheses and press enter, and we get A. Okay, let's test this by extending it down a few. A-T-R-L-R, A-T-R-L-R. Cool, looks like we figured out the pattern. So let's bring this all the way down for our employees. We don't have that many employees on here. Okay, so we got the first letter for each of the employees. Remember, we're kind of just setting up things to be solved from there. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this video now, and I'm going to solve the first letter of the last name. You should be able to figure that out on your own. All right, so now I got it up and running. So we have the first letter of the first name, and we have the first letter of their last name. So now let's take a look back at the scenario and see what else we need to find. Of course, we need to find the last four digits of the social security number. Again, that's something that we'll do together because I'm feeling pretty generous today, and it'll also give us some insights on how this is pieced together. So we have to find that. Then we have to generate the usernames and passwords like it said. So what we can do is we can generate the usernames. It's the initials followed by their employee number. All right, so let's find out the last four of their social security number. So instead of it being equal left, this is going to be equal right, and we're going to click on social security number, comma, 4. Close my parentheses and press enter, and I did get the last four numbers on there. So I'll drag this down to repeat it for everybody. All right, so now we have the last four numbers generated for their social security number. So then I'm going to take a look, usernames and passwords. The username, remember, was the initials followed by the employee number. The passwords was the last name followed by the last four digits of their social security number. So I'm going to do the usernames, and I'm going to leave you to figure out the passwords for this task. All right, so it's the initials. Oh, look, we have the two initials. That's pretty cool. And then it's followed by their employee number. So under the username, I'm going to put in equals. We're not technically using a function now. We're more setting up like a formula where I'm going to say it is this letter and this letter and their employee ID number. And when I press enter, this person's username is AC934249. And it grabbed the A, it grabbed the C, and then it grabbed the employee ID number 934249. And I'm going to extend this all the way down, of course, because we're going to do that instead of typing things in. And we have a set number of usernames. Let me just zoom out for a second so we can kind of see it all in all of its glory. So these would be their usernames, and that's something that they can easily piece together. And then their password, not too many people are going to know the last 4 digits of their social security number. So we can plug that in. But remember, it's their last name, so you want to grab the data from their last name, then combine it with this newly generated set of information for the password. All right. So playing with text seems to be a little bit easier because there's less rules. We can just grab left, we can just grab right, and we can just start fusing and adding things together as we like. So this first example should be relatively easy. It should be like a 2 out of 10 on the scale of difficulty. If you are having trouble with it, don't be afraid to look back at the video where we explained everything, and we can go from there.